Coming at you from the Royal York Hotel in downtown Toronto. You can see it's alive and well. Conferences kind of going on around me. I'm actually on the mezzanine, a little bit quieter to film for you guys. But today I want to talk about investing because I'm actually meeting with a client and we're going to discuss this very subject. But I don't know if you guys noticed, the investing rules have changed recently in Toronto. With prices up and interest rates, of course, rising, the tables have turned over the last 5 years. And I want to get into what that means in this market, how it's impacted it, but also what you can be doing and what my investors are doing today in order to make sure that they're getting profit when they're investing in real estate. 5 years ago, you could buy a cash flow property, make $600 a month, no questions asked. But today, that's not quite the deal. In fact, in many cases, cash flow is negative, and to find a positive cash flow property is really difficult, which of course is that passive stability. Of course, there's the other side of equity, which is what people are heavily leaning on today. Equity means until you sell, of course, you're taxed 50%, there's more benefit, but the reason is because it's slightly riskier. So we're playing with the big boys now. So what exactly impact does this have? I was actually running the numbers for clients in Mississauga condos, and I was trying to figure out how many of these condos that are listed today will actually run a positive cash flow if you were to purchase them at 20% down, and the numbers were staggering. I was able to find maybe 1 in 100 that were actually fitting that description. And in downtown Toronto, it's probably even more grim. So we really need to get creative on how we're going to hit that cash flow. And I'm going to explain to you exactly what my investors are doing. On the freehold side, if you want to invest in a property that's not a condo, maybe get away from those fees, you're still looking at probably going 45 minutes or further away from the downtown core before you're going to hit those numbers you need to get a positive cash flow every month. So this is exactly what my investor clients have decided to do. First off, you got to get away from that 20% down if you want positive monthly cash flow. So my investor clients are doing 50% to 100% in order to hit those numbers. If you don't have that money, you can also do it in the form of a partnership. Option number 2 is, of course, these multi-families, properties, multi-units in the outskirt communities. Of course, they're a little further out, but you can hire a property manager with the amount of cash flow you can get and still run a positive monthly balance from these rentals. The third and final is you got to be okay with increasing equity as your final payment on these properties. If you're not okay with that, if you find it's too risky, then you really got to get creative on what you're doing here. And many of my clients, for example, will find, you know what, I'm losing $300, Bradley, a month on my rental, or I potentially will lose $300, but I know in my mortgage pay down, I'm paying it down $1,000 a month, which nets, of course, $700, but that isn't found, of course, until you sell that property. So just some things to think about. We'll check in with you guys next week. GTA Real Estate, make sure you tune in, and we'll catch you there. Take care, guys, and keep it real.